Welcome back to the Ambitious Crew. It's been a long time, nearly just a week. But anyway, my name is Graf Dylan. This year's Campbell Miller.
Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Yep, and right here we've got Joel Diya. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, everybody. My name is Joel. Then I'm excited to be on the Ambitions podcast with the boys Gurav and Campbell.
Yeah, let's
They're doing a good job over here, man. They got a nice setup, microphones, headphones. A bit about myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my name is Joel. I was born in Zimbabwe in 2004. I moved to Australia when I was 4. I moved here because my dad was getting a ring from some company and he didn't want to pick up. And mom just said, hey, just pick it up. So then he picked it up, long story short. And they're like, hey, we're looking for structural engineers, civil structural engineers. Do you want to come over to Rockhampton? And long story short, we flew in Rocky and I've been here ever since. So I was born in Zim, but I've been bred. No.
Born and bred?
I've been raised. I was bred in Zim and I was raised.
Yeah, from like a very young age?
Or ever since I was 4, I've been in Rocky all my life. So.
Do you go back to Zimbabwe?
I've only been in back at Zim once.
Yeah.
Once. That was when I was in grade 4. So I don't know what year. I forgot what year that was. 2013. So I went there for 2 weeks. My auntie had
2013. That's when I came to Australia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So where are you actually from?
I'm from India.
India.
Yeah.
Cool.
From the north side.
North side.
Yeah, that's near the border.
Yep.
I think the difference you can tell is south sides are more darker.
Yeah,
like
okay.
New York color. And we're more in the brown.
Yeah.
Cool. In the middle. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
So do you still speak the language?
Yes.
What's excuse me. What's the language for in India?
In India, there's many, but the ones that I speak at home is Punjabi.
Yep.
And I also dabble with them, a little Hindi as well, because they're very similar in a sense. They've got a few words that match.
Do you ever speak Punjabi to him?
I've shown them Punjabi songs.
Sometimes. Punjabi songs are cool.
I want to put Campbell to a challenge.
Righto.
I reckon if you give us a sentence in Punjabi, Punjabi,
yeah,
and we got to translate it.
Let's do it.
Okay, you know what? Easiest one. Ki hala.
Hello.
Yeah.
Nope. How are you?
It was very close.
Goodbye.
No. Good morning.
No.
Good afternoon.
No.
Say it again.
Ki hala.
How are you?
Oh, no.
Close. Yeah.
Okay, 1 point. Give us another.
Yeah, right.
Give us a longer. Give like a sentence.
Oh crap! Now I gotta think of a better one. Basic. Okay. Crap. I think of one where it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me a topic in a sense.
Music.
Yeah.
Music. Okay. मैं कहना भी basically सिद्धू मूसेवाला सार तो वधिया singer है.
Oh, I have no. Wait, do one more time.
मैं कहना कि basically सिद्धू मूसेवाला सारियां तो वधिया singer है.
So basically,
I think of that.
I think the start was the name, and then you're saying that he's the best singer. There you go.
How do you know this?
Oh, that's awesome.
Nah, I'm not beating Campbell. He knows too. How do you actually know this, bro?
Well, I don't know.
Do you know your language?
Nah, unfortunately. I can hear it. I can speak a little bit. If I do, I'm just gonna get clowned on.
Yeah. So you can't understand it, eh?
No, I can't understand a bit of it. Like some of my parents talk to me, they know the words they can say to me, and I'll pick up what they're saying. But like if they're watching like something on TV that's like in Shona, then I don't understand.
So Shona is the mummy.
Yeah, Shona is what we speak. So there's Shona, there's Duele. See, I'm butchering the names, man. This is just, but there's a few, those are the main 2 ones. I think there's some more, but those are the main 2 ones that people speak in Zimbabwe. So a lot of people speak Shona. So I just missed learning it. I wish I did. My brother knows a bit more of it than me, but
also, so you've got older brother, or
so Josh D is my older brother. 4 years older than me. Yeah.
So how's he doing? What is he doing right now?
Yeah, he's good. So he's a pastor. He's one of the pastors.
That's the guy I was trying to remember.
Yeah. So he's one of our pastors. No. I saw you guys at the at the showcase. But just recently we we did a United We Stand. I don't know if you guys heard about it.
I saw your story.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it?
So United We Stand, it's from Youth Alive, and Josh Diya is the director for Rocky, and so basically what it is a bunch of churches and youth, we get together and plan one big night just for kids to get together as youth, and we just have fun, praise Jesus, hear a word, believing for souls to be saved, kids' lives to be changed. So this year was the first one. So no, it wasn't the first one. I think it was actually technically the third one. We've had two. The first one was when I was in grade 9. So that was, I don't know what year that was, but maybe 2019, 18. I mean, grade 9, that was the first ever one we did in Rocky. And then the second one was the year after, but there was COVID, so it was an online one. Then after that, we sort of didn't have any of them happening. So this year is pretty much like we're doing it again, and it was pretty good. 500 kids in attendance, and just around 100 salvations. So it was pretty awesome, like to kickstart. We stand back in Rockhampton, and the youth groups are all on board together. So we had Everlast Youth from Oasis, Regen from COP, we had Calvary Youth, we had the Salvos, we had Zion Youth from Northside Family Church, we had Peace Youth, we had, what else did we have? Could be forgetting some. I'm so sorry if I forgot the youths, but we had a lot of the youths in Rocky involved together, and man, just Lighthouse, of course. It was hosted at Lighthouse. We had Lighthouse Youth as well. So it was awesome. It was awesome.
It sounds like it,
yeah.
Remember, I don't know. I remember going to this church. Remember next to the Karen Park, in front of it.
Yeah, so that's my church.
It got burned down.
That's my church.
So how'd that happen?
So Oasis Church, if you remember, we were in Oasis Church for Campton. Unfortunately, there was some person that was an arsonist that burnt the building down.
Sorry, correct me. I'm sorry. What is arsonist?
Arsonist, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that is someone like the person that burns buildings. I think that's what it is. I think that's the legal
they have
term.
some fun with fire.
That's the legal term. But someone unfortunately burnt the building down. Not obviously going through things mentally, and unfortunately that's what happened. But now besides that, God's been good. We now do services in the cinema.
Oh, okay.
So we do
cinema? That is crazy.
So we have our services 9:30 a.m. every Sunday at the BCC cinemas. It's just been awesome. God's moving, and we've just seen a lot of people come in, and
how'd you get that? Because that's at the cinema, especially the main one. That's one.
Yeah. So actually, the first time we ever did anything in the cinema was one youth night. We did like a games night in the cinema, and we hired the cinema and plugged in PlayStations in the thing, and then the kids came in.
Come on,
and then that was one of our event nights. So we always knew that the cinema was there for hire, and then once the building burnt down, the first week we did Fretchville, and then the second week we were like, let's try it at the cinema, see how that goes, and then we're like, yep, seems to work. The chairs are already there, and then ever since then we're just good to go, and we're just pack up. So tomorrow morning be in there at 7 a.m. getting ready for services and servicing.
So are you one of the main people?
So I'm quite involved in my church. I serve in our worship team, I serve in our youth team, and I serve also in our media team. So do a lot of media.
I mean, I just gotta remind them, this man can sing. You know what I'm saying? That's
you can play,
and you can play guitar. That's some, if I was that, I'd be like, okay, I might get some ladies. I might get some ladies, but I'm singing and stuff. So maybe,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Dan knows. Dan knows about it. Dan is in a relationship now, so he knows.
Oh yeah, I saw that with that.
He knows, but anyway,
are you single?
No, I am happily single at the moment.
We all see. It gets to that point where you have to be happy at that point. I'm single too. I feel the pain, but on this topic, I want to discuss because I find it really hard to find the girl that I want because I have in this today's standards, because in the end of the day I have to make sure that I uphold God's standards. and I want someone, who doesn't go out partying or doesn't drink, all that stuff. And it gets pretty hard because this generation is not on the right path. So do you find those same difficulties when you are, let's say, if you are looking for someone?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely hear what you're saying. Like, like you have a sort of like, little, it sounds weird, but like a little bit of a checklist. You might say like, oh, like this is something that I'm looking for in a partner. At one point in stage, I thought, oh man, am I being like selfish by having this checklist? Like, is this like being selfish? But, I was talking to my pastor about it and I was like, actually, we came to the conclusion that no, it's not actually not selfish. As long as you're not demeaning other people, it's a different story if, you're talking to people and you're like, I don't want to be with you because you're not, and you're like, then that's a different story. But like, just in going by life, it's okay to have standards that align with your morals. And I guess, I guess the biggest thing I'll say is like, just got to be in the right environment to find that right person. The number one thing that my pastors talk to me about in relationships is my pastor says to me, Joel, hide yourself so much in God that they have to go through God to find you. So it's a thing of like being in a relationship with God. That's your number one priority.
Yeah.
And that's where your love is. And it sounds weird saying that as dudes, because sometimes, I know for me, like I can be a bit like, I don't know what the word is, but like a bit prideful and stuff like that. But, in our love for God, like loving God truly from our heart and not from a fake thing, but an authentic thing. And people see that. And then, there might be a girl there to be like, oh, girl, oh, Campbell, man, they're pretty. Look at him, man. They're serving God, loving people. They're just smart guys. They got a podcast. They're just trying to help kids and young people and other people grow. Like, I want to be like, hey, I want to talk to him. I want to, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you'll find that, these people end up talking to you and stuff like that. And you're like, and then there you go. You might find a partner that, follows.
Yeah, I do understand that because I don't know. I saw this TikTok. It was this person. He was in church, and this young lady came up to him and said, "I find it really attractive the way you praise Jesus."
Yeah,
and it was pretty good. And he said that's all he really wants.
Yeah,
to have someone who finds. Obviously, you can find. What's the word? It is natural to find another person attractive.
Yeah.
But when a lady comes up to you and says, I find it so attractive that the way you praise Jesus.
Yeah.
And he said that for me is my biggest, I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I do understand that. And I think putting God in the like he's in the middle.
Yep.
In the relationship, I also believe in that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's a pain currently. No one,
Nah, don't worry. You will find the right person.
I keep that hope in me, but come on. I'm up there looking at Jesus. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. I think it's time, man. I think it's time. In my head, but then I don't know if you noticed, but it's like, I say that the way that God talks to you is through a person, the Bible, and if you're lucky enough, himself. And also, one other thing, the small thing, is that he also talks to you in your head. So every single time, mind you, I say, come on, Jesus, where's my girl? Where's my rib? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he said, you just got to wait.
Yeah.
It keeps replaying in my head every single time I say it.
Wow.
Just got to wait a little longer.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. And
that's
it's
God,
like, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Yeah, and that's good. You just I think sometimes as well in life, we get impatient and we jump into things sometimes. But I think in life, I'm a strong believer that, things that happen in your life, like, we can always use them as learning curves. So, even if people are watching, they're like, man, why did I jump into that relationship?
Yeah.
Why did I not wait? Like, like that, yes, that you went through that difficult season, but wow, look how much more now you can know in the future.
Yeah.
Like, all right, now going into the future, the next relationship, this is something I'm going to look out for.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I call that character development.
Yeah.
That's my little
character development.
Gen Z and word that I've learned. I am Gen Z myself. I forget that. But
do you guys watch anime?
Yeah. Oh, come on now.
Not much.
So, I was One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I'm up there. I was watching this anime, and it was, goodness gracious, now it's not in my head. crap.
What was it about?
It was, it's gone. It's just disappeared.
Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, My Hero Academia.
That one, yeah. I was watching it, right? But look, it dragged on for a bit. I got a man. I was there like, yeah, okay, he ate the hair, man. He about to get the power, he's there. But why are the other guys so better than him? Bro was like doing fingers, thing. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, lock in, man. Lock in. And half the time, I'm just like, bro, you got the All Might's power in your ass.
See, I didn't know too much about my. I've heard about them animes and stuff like that, but I just haven't. I don't know. I take a while to start watching something. I'm the type of person just to repeat something. So I'll repeat watching Dragon Ball Z. I'll repeat watching Naruto, but one day I'm gonna finally watch those type of ones. But what about you? What do you watch, Ken? What do you watch?
Whatever. Oh, Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Yeah,
is that show still going?
Not sure. I couldn't tell you, but
is it? So, do they just repeat episodes or something?
No, I mean apparently it's
on Netflix and
okay.
But apparently it's the longest running TV show in history.
Really?
Yeah. That's what Sam tells me. You know what I'm saying?
Not Home and Away.
That's true. It's on every night.
How many times is someone going to get lost on the beach?
No,
I swear, every advert I see, it's someone got lost on the beach. Someone needs to get saved. A car crash happened. How many? I
swear, it's like they repeat the same problems.
It's repeat the same, and then a new character comes in, and then he gets lost on the beach. It's like, man.
And they have so many emotional problems they have. I don't know, it gets boring for me, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but remember that TV show, Mindhunters? I'm pretty sure
that's a good one, yeah.
Have you heard of that?
No.
It's about these FBI's.
Yeah.
Agents, sorry. And they're in the criminal solving, people who've murdered people, blah, blah, blah. And they also interview people who are murderers, all that things. Okay. And they will tape them and see how the way they respond to questions, what they say. And that they'll try to use that as an advantage to catch other criminals who are in the act. It's a very good show because
it's really interesting.
Oh, they're very smart. They're very smart. Because this girl, she would I think I saw one instance where he was saying something and she said, "Oh, do you know the way he said that word?" I'm like, "How did you pick that up?" They're those smart. Again, FBI. FBI, I don't know which ones it is. FBI, right? Or FIB?
FBI.
Yeah, I'm sorry. GTA came to my mind. FIB. Stuff.
Do you play video games much?
Yeah, I do. I haven't been playing a lot of PS5 a lot. But I do play video games. The number one video game I've played the most in my life is probably NBA 2K.
Oh yes, give it up for the 2K.
But it's been a while since I've played 2K. The last 2K I really did play was 2K22, and I played it with one of my mates from school, and we just grinded that game. I would just be up until 1 a.m. trying to get to level 40 rank and trying to get this skeleton skin and just oh man.
I got to a point where I was like, screw it, let's just get the VC.
Yeah. No. Hey, look, every build I made, I wasn't gonna grind. I've spent VC every time.
What's spending VC?
I'm not.
It's like virtual currency.
Yeah. Currency. Yeah.
So with this NBA game, I feel like if you don't get so the game releases, right? And then you start off at 60 overall, right? And you can spend about $80 to get to 85 overall straight away, right? Okay. Which is a lot of money, but anyway. But since everyone does it, if you don't do it, it's going to take you half the year to get to 85, right?
Yeah.
And by then, everyone's already on 99 or something like that, right?
And then by the time you get on 90, the new game's coming.
The new game's there. Okay. So it's like if you want to actually play if you want to try and have fun by yourself, play My Career, just play with AI bots, But if you want to play Park, which is like the online thingamajig, then you have to basically spend. So it's basically pay to win, but anyway, it was a good game. I enjoyed the
lots
2K22.
of fun to play.
I enjoyed it.
We played FIFA as well.
FIFA.
That it just
do you like my team? What's that new one where there's a new one where you make your whole team?
Ultimate Team.
Ultimate Team. Is that it?
Yeah, Ultimate Team. You make your own team and choose your coach and your centre backs and strikers.
But I was so ass. I went in that. I had my team. I was like, cool. I know how to play. Go in there. They have 99, 95, 80. No one is 80 in their whole team. I'm there with 85, 191. I'm just like, what? I just came too late. I feel like you have to come like
with these games you got to be playing straight away. Otherwise, it's so that's what I'm waiting for the next NBA 2K when that next one comes out.
Or you can pre-order it.
Then that's when
you pre-order it. Pre-order it.
I should, but I just haven't.
Is it 2K25 now?
Yeah.
2K25. Actually, I won't though, because usually I game share with my brother, and I know that he's gonna definitely get it.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it is.
So he'll get it, and then.
Do you know it's like $150?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It's crazy.
For a normal game.
What about when GTA 6 comes out?
Oh, I'm buying that. I'm sorry. At this point, it's like...
See, I wish I got on the GTA train early. I didn't play it when it was really there. I only tried playing it probably a year ago, but then once again, it was too late. I was playing with my friends and they're level 500 and whatever. I'm just level 1. I'm like...
The online...
You can do the same thing, by the way.
Hey?
Shark cards. Let's get that shark cards.
What is that? Can you pay to get?
It's like I think $91 for 10 mil. You can buy any car you want, any garage you want.
But don't they have you can buy any car, but your character is still slow. You have to upgrade your running.
Can you buy XP points at all?
I don't think. No, you can't buy XP. But it's normal. If you're driving. You got a car and you're just going on traffic, it will just go higher and higher.
Oh, so it just takes time. So no one can buy that.
No.
Okay.
Even the levels, it's you got to play some racing games, play some missions. But even if you're level 1, you can still, get the shark cards. Buy the car you want. You probably won't be able to customize your car to the max of the performance. That's because you have to it's you have to be level 99, level 100, all that stuff. But
cool.
It's a grinding game. Yeah.
So tell me about your ambitions. How did you come about this? What was the dream, the vision, the
low key? I think we were at my house.
Yeah,
and I don't know how the conversation went.
Yeah,
but
same.
we were like, let's start a podcast, and everybody was like, cool. And then I think I was if you they said what should the name be, and I think I just said Ambitious Crew or Ambitious Squad, and then I think he changed it to Ambitious Crew. I'm like, oh, that sounds better, Ambitious Crew. And that happened. You need a place.
Yeah.
So then Greg's got a place, right? Yeah, Greg's got a place. And then Greg's like, oh yeah, of course, go ahead. If you can, as long as you just help fix up the room and stuff, you got to go ahead. So we had to come in, fix all the fix it, clean it up as well, fix it. And then he's like, go ahead. And he loves it, by the way. So that's one thing. And we had to have him as the first guest because it just made sense. Our coach made sense.
So he's would you guys say Greg is sort of your mentor or?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because I'll say to be successful, you need mentors.
Yes.
It cuts the journey by 50%. You get there faster. It's because they've all made those mistakes that you would have made if you weren't, had it. And they could teach you that stuff, which is amazing. I mean, it's kind of like having a coach.
Yeah, I think having mentors is just great, and father figures and stuff like that. I think as well. Sometimes it's a bit. I think sometimes I know for me, I've kind of gotten in the way of myself of looking for a mentor. And actually, sometimes we sit there and oh, no one's mentoring me or whatever. But actually, sometimes you actually got to go and find that mentor.
You know what I found? This is crazy. So when I wanted to become. What was the word? I wanted to go in business.
Yeah.
Because I had a goal I want to set. So I had the goal and I said, okay, how can I get there? Blah, blah. And I was doing it for a year, working, trying to find ways, went into crypto. It was a ride. Went to NFTs. It was a ride, wasn't really hitting it.
Yeah.
And then my uncle, what's the word? Is a contractor for post office.
Okay.
So he owns contracts. So he hires people. He doesn't have to work. He's a smart man, And so one random day, I was just sitting in his car because he said, why don't you come work for me? So, oh, cool. I started working for him and I said, I think one ride I said, I want to make $10,000 a month just for starting. And that man replied, that's it? I'm like, what? Hold up, what? He's like, I'll make that right now. I'm like, how do you make that? And they said, because of blah, blah, blah. I have this. And I'm like, can you teach me? He's like, all right, you have to show me. So I'm still working for him in a sense, but I had to show for a whole year. I had to show him that I was worthy of having him as my mentor.
That's not you can be standing next to a possible mentor, but if he doesn't see something in you worth nurturing or helping evolve, then he's just gonna just dismiss you, but
no.
he's not going to put the extra effort into helping you. I believe.
Because it's like I'll have, let's say, what's the word? If I'm looking for, first of all, I'm looking for someone to mentor. But if I see a kid who I see myself, it's like, okay, this man has a vision. This man wants to get somewhere, and I'm gonna be in that position, and I'm gonna be like, I can help him out. I can help him out, and I think that's
especially when you were helped out.
When you were helped,
yeah, and I love that. Like exactly like what you were saying. When you were helped out, now you've been mentored. Who are you looking for to mentor?
Yeah.
What people are you seeing and stuff like that?
Because it's definitely one thing. Because for a long time, I was really thinking of, am I just chasing money?
Yeah.
Why do I really want to get to where I want to get?
Yeah.
Sure, I feel like I'm chasing money, blah, blah, blah. But I was talking to Isaac's mom, our mom in a sense, and I was talking to her and I said, Mom, I don't know, if it just feels like I'm chasing money. Like, I'm getting what I'm getting, and it's not even that hard. It's weird. I feel like I should be working 10 times harder to, get what have been deserved. I'm thankful, God bless. And Mom said that basically, God has put that idea in your head for a reason, first of all. And if you're his child, he's not gonna make you work, for hundreds of, like hard as hell. He's gonna make sure that you're still working hard, but he's gonna help you out. He's not gonna make it so much that you can't bear it. Because obviously God gives us challenges that he knows that we can handle. And he gave us that stuff. And then I was talking to Auntie, that's Isaac's auntie, and she said that basically the reason God has put that idea in your head is because he needs you to be in that position so you can help him out, so you can do his work, which made so much sense. And I looked at it and I said, that's why I want to get there, so I can help God out. Not help God out. I can be one official soldier. So I do have it really sparked something in me, and I'm really thankful because I think having those kind of people around you, which is really important, those that are with God. Actually, I'm going to go on that. Actually, on personally with those kind of people around you,
having godly people around you.
Yeah. So do you have people who keep you to that? What's the word? To this, in a sense, to standard.
Keep you in check. Keep you in check.
What's the word? I have your friends, like your friends are your
accountable.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, definitely, man. Like, I'd say in life, you gotta have a group of people that keep you accountable. You gotta, scriptures say that iron sharpens iron. You gotta have like-minded people around you that are willing to encourage you, that are willing to say, hey, bro, come on, man. That's not what we do. You got to have those friends that are going to actually lift you up. I think in life, sometimes, a lot of people have big hearts and they want to, help a lot of people. Like, I need really to help these people. And that's great. God has given you the passion to help people. But do you have that inner circle where you go back to for your uplifting, for your energizing, you know what I mean? So it's like, definitely, like for me, I got friends that in church that I'll say, these are actually these are my inner friends that I talk to these guys and these blokes about life and stuff like that. And we encourage each other. And then I have my other friends, that we still encourage each other. But there's also in the relationship, there's also me also uplifting them in the relationship. You know what I mean? Sometimes they uplift me, and then you have other people where you just associating with other people and you're being friendly to other people and you're ministering to them. So, I think in life, you got to have that inner circle where you're like, all right, these are the people, like, my Christian friends, where that's where I spend 80% of my time with these people. Cause you never want to be in the position where you're like, I'm not friends with anybody that doesn't love Jesus. If you don't love Jesus, you're a pagan. You know what I mean? That's just now being religious. You know what I mean? Like, God called us to make disciples of all people. So actually, we are called to talk to those people. But if 100% your time is in those environments and you don't have that inner circle to find that strength, I'll begin to question, say, hey, do you have some people that can uplift you? Because what I've found in life is that the saying says, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
And what I found in life is that, you put if you got a basket of apples, if there's one ripe apple, one natural apple in there, and the rest of them are rotten, what's the chances that apple is going to stay healthy? Next to none. Whereas if an apple is in another batch of bowls where there's ripe apple, fruitful apples, it's a good chance it's going to stay there. So it's like, it doesn't mean that we exclude ourselves from other people. We still do make friends with everyone. We make friends with people, but where you find your refilling and where you find your strength is in that inner circle of like-minded people, and that's where you can really grow. So yeah, definitely like get around some good people, man.
What advice could you give if someone's listening right now and they're like a lone wolf but they want to get in a brotherhood or perhaps or just an inner circle, like people to help them stay strong and stay grounded and whatnot? What advice would you be giving to those listeners?
Well, we talked about before with finding mentors. Go look for some people. All right. If let's say you want to be a phenomenal MMA fighter, right? Get in an MMA fight club.
Yeah.
Get around some people that know how to do the sport, right? Let's say you want to be a great, great artist. Get in a community of people that are really good at making art. That's just basic, right? Now we're talking spiritualness. Let's say that you want to be, you want to grow in your relationship with God. Get to a church. Get plugged in a church. You know what I mean? Don't just attend the church, but be a part of the church. Join a team. Join the media team. Join the welcome team. Join the praise and worship team. Join the kids team. Get amongst something where you're fellowshipping with people, so that you can be like, you can have those conversations. You know what I mean? Because I strongly believe that church isn't just a tick the box thing. I attended 9:30. Yep, cool, and I left. Mate, no, church is actually, we're coming together as a believer and doing life together. So church actually goes way above the 9:30 till 1 p.m. or whatever time it finishes, right? Church is actually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Church is, hey, bro, what are you doing tonight? Can I come to your house for dinner? Church is, bro, man, this is actually what me and my mates we decided to go on a diet. Bro, I got on the scales, man. I did not like my weight, bro. We need to get in the gym. That's church, doing life together. At our church, our 3 mottos is love God, love people, and do life together. Church is about doing life together. And when you get in a community of people and believers. So my advice for people, long story short, sorry for that long monologue. Long story short, get plugged in. Find a church, find some people that can really uplift you. If you want to grow emotionally, go find that person where you're like, I think that person has actually got their stuff together. I'm going to get plugged in with him. Find that person, get in fellowship with people.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the back. So have you always been a Christian?
I would say I've always grown up in a Christian environment.
Yep.
But sort of when I made my decision to be like, okay, I'm going to follow Jesus was when I was around in grade 5 and 6. But I guess with that, like in growing through school and stuff like that, it's always been a journey for me. So my sort of walk with God has, like, I've always, well, not always, but I really made that decision for myself when I was in grade 5 and 6. But it's been a growing progression of my faith. I like to say that Christianity isn't perfection, but it's progression. We're going on the journey with God. But yeah, I can talk about sort of my life journey so far. If you
oh, please go ahead.
But yeah. So from a very young age, I think when I was 6 or something like that, my father would preach at my church and stuff like that here and there.
Wait, your father would preach?
Yeah.
And now your oldest brother preaches?
Yeah.
Come on, Joel. Next in line.
So they would. Yeah, so my dad would preach, and then like from a young age, I'd be like, I want to be a pastor when I grow up. Mm. And I one day I'm going to talk to my mom and my brother and find the footage. But like, I remember one night, I like got my mom and dad. I was like, guys, come to the dining room, come to the dining room, come to the dining room. They're like, what do you want? What do you want? And I was like, just sit down. And I literally like did a whole like church service.
Nice.
It was like, I got bread from the kitchen. I got juice. I was like, all right, let's take this bread. And I don't even know what I said, but I said something and I was like, then I put on YouTube. I was like, okay, now it's time for praise and worship. And then I did anyway. Well, so yeah, from a young age, I always like was really interested in like, you know, being a preacher and stuff like that. But journeying, going through school, like it's a bit of a different weird thing. You know, get the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Policeman, fireman, an engineer, doctor. And I was like, pastor. And it was like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Cool. Radio.
It was just weirdo.
Yeah. So it was a bit like, so I guess like in school, I kind of like suppressed that sort of thing. And I just was like, yeah, electrician, you know what I mean? So that was sort of my schooling journey. But when I was in grade 5 and 6, I made that personal decision. Like, all right.
Were you always at Heights College?
No, I moved to Heights College when I was in grade 2.
Oh, okay. Right.
Grade 2. But before that, I went to St. Peter's. That was my first school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it also a Christian school?
That was a Catholic school. That was a Catholic school. Yeah, St. Peter's was the Catholic school. So I made that decision in grade 5 and 6. And then back to what I was saying, it's been a journey. So going through school, especially in high school and middle school, I went through a stage of a lot of falling to peer pressure and wanting to fit in and trying to find identity. So for me, for a long time through high school, it was like Sunday and Friday youth. I was like, yes, Jesus. Love you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And then Monday to Friday, it was carrying on, doing crazy, you know, just mucking around with mates, doing all the wrong things. So I was living a lot, like a double life for pretty much a lot of my high school career, if you'd say. But then at the end of grade 12, that was when it was like, okay, now Joel, now's the time to make the decision of what you want to do. Do you want to go this way or do you want to go this way? And there was a time where I was starting to veer off the other way of not really following, my Christian walk. But then my mum, before I went to a young adults retreat that we did, she gave me a book of this guy called Smith Wigglesworth. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's like a pretty crazy evangelist from back in the day. So she gave me a book of Smith Wigglesworth, and I was like, I don't want to read this. Like, well, I hate reading. You know what I mean? Like, I never read books in school, but I was like, well, I'll just read a couple of pages anyway. So I read some pages, and while I was reading those pages, it actually like reminded me of that, what I was talking about when I was younger, saying I want to be a pastor. It reminded me of that, and I was now starting to be like, okay, maybe this is something I need to do. And then on that young adults retreat, I think that was probably a moment when I really made the full switch to, okay, now I'm following Jesus 100%. So basically what happened is, we were going to, a campsite for like some fire, marshmallows, whatever, fellowship, whatever. And, in my heart, I just felt, cause I was looking for my brother. And then when I was looking for my brother, a boy on a scooter was riding towards me, like about to ride past me. And I felt in my heart to just invite this guy to come, sit with us at the campfire. And I was like, I stopped, like, oh, hey man. And he's like, whoa, you got startled. And I was like, oh, sorry. I was like, and then he's like, oh yeah, how you going? I was like, oh, hey, my name's Joel and whatever. He introduced himself and I was like, hey bro, we have a campfire happening here. Do you want to join, you know? And then he was like, oh, nah, it's all right. Nah. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then he rode off. So I was like, right, okay, well, anyway, I asked him, that's all right. Let me just keep on moving. So we in the campfire, we're doing our stuff, and then we started doing praise and worship. Now, then in the corner of my eye, I see him sitting at a bench, right? I'm like, oh, he's here. Okay. And at the stage, I was singing praise and worship and stuff like that. And then in my brain, I was just praying to God. I was like, all right, God, I felt that you wanted me to invite this guy here. He's here now, but right now I'm leading worship, so I can't kind of drop my guitar and run over there. Like, God, you got to keep him here for this whole session so I can quickly race towards him when we're done. And that was my prayer. Cool, done. And so our whole service went on, and we finished up and he was still there. I was like, yes, green light. Put the guitar down, beelined over to him. Oh, hey, bro, you were here, man. He's like, yeah. I don't. I said, oh, so why did you decide to come sit down here? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Actually, I was really encouraged you invited me because I've actually been struggling with being really lonely, and I've been having problems with my friends, and I heard you guys singing, and I just thought that I would come join along. And I was like, oh, well, that's awesome. And then that's when I began to share with him. I said, hey, bro, like, actually, the reason I wanted to invite you is I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and I believe that he speaks to everyone. And I felt that he wanted me to invite you to come sit with us. And he was like, oh, wow, that's so awesome. And so I said, is there anything that you'd like me to pray for you for? And he was like, oh, just pray for, my friendships and that I can find more friends. And I was like, okay, cool. So we prayed for him. And then while we're doing that, another boy comes up, his friend, and his other friend, and he comes over, and I'm like, oh, who's this? He's like, oh, he's one of my other mates. And I was like, and he was like, kind of like cracking jokes and all that. And I was like, was there anything that you want me to pray for you, bro? And he's like, oh, yeah, my toe. I was like, oh, what happened to your toe? He's like, yeah, it's a bit fun. It's a bit painful, and when I run, he was kind of being a bit like jokey about it. And I was just like, oh, cool. I'll roll with the punches. Yep, so I was like, cool. Well, can we pray for your toe? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I pray for his toe. Just simple prayer. Lord Jesus, I pray that you heal his toe. In Jesus' name, amen. And then he was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, oh, bro, do you want to test out your toe? Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then he does this with his toe, and then it clicks. And he's like, oh, yeah, no. So he was about to say it still hurts. He's like, it still hurts. Oh, no, the pain's gone. And then I was like, yeah, man. And then it was like, wow, we were like, that was awesome. And then we prayed a prayer. We led him to the Lord, and a few other kids now started coming along as well. And then these little kids were like, oh, can I get prayer too? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, what do you want prayer for? And it's like, oh, well, I get a lot of nightmares when I'm asleep and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Alrighty, and then they're like, and then at first in my brain I was like, oh, little kids get nightmares, you know what I mean? And then I was like, oh yeah, and then the little girl begins to go like, yeah, my sister does like a lot of like weird witchy stuff at home. Then I was like, oh, okay. And then in my brain I was like, all right, yeah, cool. But anyway, like, I believe that my God is bigger than any of those things. Of course. So I was just like, okay, cool. Let me pray for you. And once again, it was just simple prayer. And I was just saying, God, I just pray for this young girl. I know that you love her so much. God, I pray that she can have sweet dreams and sweet visions. And as I was praying, tears start flowing from her eyes. Oh, wow. And she starts crying. And afterwards, she's like, I don't know what this is, but I just felt like this just weight come off me. And I was like, that's God, that's Jesus, that's the Holy Spirit, that's him encountering you. And yeah, those kids got saved, and another one of my mates came over and gave him a Bible. And after that, I was like, all right, Joel, time to make the decision, bro. Yeah. You're either going to follow Jesus, follow the call in your life, or you're going to decide to do your own thing. And then after that, I was like, okay, nah, I'm going to follow Jesus. And I was like, all right, I'm fully following Jesus. The next year which was last year, I did Bible college for a year. And now I'm serving in my church, and that's the journey.
Bible college. Can you tell us a bit about Bible college?
Yeah. So I did Bible college for a year, 1 year full time. And basically what that was is studying the context of the Bible. That's pretty much the best way I can explain it. And it was 1 year. So it was a diploma. And you can keep on going. There's obviously the more years you go, the more insight you get and the more knowledgeable you are. But just to clarify, Bible college isn't like a certificate to say that you are a good Christian. It's more of a thing that, like if you don't go to Bible college, doesn't mean you're not a good Christian. All it means is when you're going to Bible college, all it is you're wanting to gain your understanding of context of scripture and ministry, in a more theoretical way. So
if you wanted to be a pastor of a church, would you have to do any of these diplomas and studies, or? Yeah.
Well, I'm not too sure across the board, but I know for the denomination we're a part of, the ACC, being a pastor, you be a pastor through being recognized as a pastor first of all, and then you go on that journey. And to be an ordained pastor, you have to have a level of education, which is about a certificate for, I'm pretty sure. But that is as far as my extent of my knowledge goes. So
have you heard about remember Cliff? I don't know if you know who Cliff is, but Cliff. Pastor, not pastor, but the fella on TikTok.
Oh, Cliff. Yeah. Cliff. He's a gun.
Guy. Yeah. That's my he just goes into colleges and just debates anyone. I'm just like, how, because the funny thing is, when someone asks him a question and he says, I don't know, the guy's done. But I will just drop knowledge. Just straight, I'm just like, first said, I don't know, so I don't know. But then it's, I don't know, I just, knowledge. Just instant, there you go. Here's the truth. Let me believe the truth. Yeah. It's exciting because some students, I realized, like, some students would debate him. Some would debate and listen. Some would argue. Yeah. So many, like, all that stuff happening. It's pretty cool. One thing he did say. Someone asked him, they said, so where's heaven? And he said, I could be wrong, but, thingy, that heaven's in another dimension. I was just like, okay, cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, that's just, I never thought of that. I never thought of Bible being in the dimension or the whole thing is this thing. That really got me fascinated. So I do want to learn about the scientific ways of it, how they interpret, what's that word again? Interpret.
I'm not good with words. Is that correct? Interpret.
Now I wrote stuff. What I was saying was,
gosh.
Yeah. Imagine if English was my first language.
It could be. It sounds like it's your first language.
Really?
You're just as good as me, bro.
Yeah, let's go. Now, this is my fourth language, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Yeah.
So you got
Hindi, Punjabi, and I can somehow speak a little bit of Urdu.
Where's that? What country?
That's like Pakistan.
Okay.
Near it. Because actually half my state is in Pakistan. So we're like kind of border thing. Yeah. But I can understand what they're saying. Like, I'm if I speak, I will get, they're like, this guy, take him away. He ain't from us, bro. He ain't from us. That's the problem. But yeah, Hindi and Punjabi, I can speak fluently and I can understand fluently. That's the one thing. But I don't know. It feels cool, It's pretty coming to Australia.
Dang, 4 languages.
Yeah.
Don't they say, like, the more languages, like something about your brain, like grows or something like.
I'm not sure.
I could be right.
So I'm just. I think it's pretty cool to be able to think in a different language. So I'm just smart, right? Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think in a different language and speak English, or do you think in English? What when you're thinking? What are you thinking?
That's insane to think about.
It depends. It depends who I'm talking to.
Okay.
If I'm talking to my mom, and I will think in my language.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking to him, I will think in English.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, yeah. But then I feel like in my brain, it goes like, it'll say Punjabi, then it'll translate to Hindi, translate to Urdu, and then it'll translate to English. So I think it goes through phases of this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's very quick.
And he's doing that.
It's very quick. Yeah, it's like Yihala, how you? Oh, very very like it's crazy.
So
I think that's how brain works.
Now the other question is: Do you talk differently at home? Do you have a different accent at home
for English or just
anything, or like just talking in general, even when you're talking English?
No.
So like the way you're talking right now, is that how you talk at home when you're just family?
When I'm speaking English,
yeah.
Oh, that's how no one talk.
There you go. I find that how I'm talking right now.
Yeah,
this is how I talk when I'm at home. When I'm in home, like I put on an African accent just somehow.
Okay.
It just happens.
Yeah, I feel like.
So I thought that maybe that you might have done the same thing.
No, I think it's other way around. My mom puts on a little accent, and I just flame her for that. She's trying to speak English. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Just relax. Just speak Punjabi, right?
Do you mind if my head's just too
No, it's okay. You put it down. That's right. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's one of the, I think, what's the word? That's right, that's my head. So, obviously, we're from different countries, and we have migrated from, Zimbabwe, India to Australia. I actually want to talk about this because this is different. He has never experienced this, but racism is one of the biggest things. Now, it is so, I don't know what the word is.
Normal?
No, yeah, so normal.
Especially in Australia.
It is so normal. The amount of people, I saw this TikTok of this man, He was an Indian man, and he was just doing his job. And I got in the comments. Not one comment was about anything else, but racism,
especially online.
And it was, I'm just there like, how has this become so normal that thing?
I mean, just recently with your uncle, right? Like,
that was So what happens is, so uncle has one of his contracts in won't say the place just in case, and basically one of the workers, they have had they've had cancer, and they've been getting treated for it, so they can't work obviously. So while in the meantime, while I find a worker, uncle had to go out and work out there for 3 days a week. So what happens is, the way uncle works is different to the way they worked. So, but the thing is, they're not going to work after this. Uncle's finding workers, blah, blah, blah. So he changed it to the way he likes. He bring in new equipment, new sorting systems, where he likes it. And then this lady came up and said, why did you remove our star, blah, blah, blah. Start going off. And then this random lady from the town joins in. Then he just said that they were just slurs, just racism straight away. And I'm just like, how, I don't know. It feels, I don't know. I understand it, because I think you can understand as well of taking it.
But I can't.
I think, first of all, right at the bat, racism is just not good.
Yeah.
That's no debate. Like, racism is just not okay. It's terrible, like, and I'm sorry for what happened to your uncle, man. That's just something hard to deal with. I think for me in life, with my journey so far, I'm only 20 years old. I don't think.
Sorry.
Hey, hold on.
Man, you're old. That's tough.
Hey, actually, what I don't know if this made me old or if I was like, wow, there's a new generation. But like, I teach guitar and drums as well, and it's like to a kid, all right, we're gonna learn this song by Michael Jackson. They're like, who's Michael Jackson? I was like,
wow.
Hey, yo, who's Michael Jackson? Who is you?
New breed of kid. This is a new breed.
Imagine
of kid.
saying, who is Michael? Man, who's you? Who is you?
But anyway, let me not deviate from the question.
Sorry.
So racism. Yeah, no, that's terrible. And in my life, I don't think I've experienced like maybe a scenario as bad, but I think I have experienced like slight things like what you're talking about is it's normal.
Like even in a more passive sense.
Passive sense. And like, I think sometimes some people even sometimes can be unconsciously racist. Yeah. And I think also I can be unconsciously racist. You know what I mean? Like you may be walking down the street and you see someone walking past in your brain. You're thinking, "Where's my keys?" You know what I mean? Why are you thinking that? You know what I mean? Like I think we can all be unconscious. I can be unconsciously racist to Campbell. I could be thinking, if I go to Campbell's house, I'm like, I don't know how his house looks like, and I'm expecting to see a nice flashy house. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm expecting to see a nice car. You know what I mean? I could say, no, I'm just being nice, they're rich, I'm being nice. But no, you're actually unconsciously, being racist.
It kind of goes into like even stereotypes, eh?
Yeah, stereotypes, exactly. And I think it's a very hard topic, and there's I don't have a lot of knowledge in it, but I just think that the best solution that I know is just people coming to know that we're all created in God's image. Mm-hmm. And when we understand that, then we stop taking advantage of other people, because we see other people as an image of God. Yeah. Grav you're a piece of the likeness of God. Campbell, you're a piece of the likeness of God. So how dare I now shout slurs at you, spit on you, take advantage of you, do this to you, exploit you, because that's an image of God. But I think in life, we see other humans, when we see human beings as just chemical things that collide and clash, and we got a human. I think sometimes that can open the door for us to begin to look down upon people, because, well, if you're just a bunch of cells put together and you explode, then where really does your worth come from? Mm. You know what I mean? Because you're just two cells together.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody can do that. Like, so where does your worth come from? Well, but when we have the understanding of like, we are all created in God's image. We are all his sons and daughters. Then that's when you place worth on people. Then you begin to second guess, am I going to now abuse this person just because they come from another country and they speak English a little bit slower, but they're actually really intelligent. They're probably more intelligent than me.
Yeah, true.
I mean? I
want to say my sister did a lot of study and whatnot in psychology. And I remember her talking to me about the collective unconscious, where like we all share a little bit, like collective unconscious, what I'm trying to say?
Sort of similar thoughts in a sense?
Yeah, like this is a little bit more like science of hurting people. And like if I was to shout at you very rude, mean things, I'm hurting myself while I'm hurting you. Yeah. So like,
Wow, tell me about that. I'm interested in that.
I wish I had more knowledge on the topic.
That's where knowledge ends.
It's like actually being negative to someone is actually.
Yeah, I mean, I can go into manifestation. That's a whole different plane. Because you know what I would relate to? I said in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." He spoke that thing into existence. All that stuff. He spoke that, and then we are made in this image, and we have a part of God in us, the Holy Spirit. So I always felt like that when I say I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna become this type of man. I'm speaking it into existence. I'm believing in myself, and I'm letting my brain know that that's what I'm gonna do. And also, it goes to opposite way as well. Negative thoughts when you start, And the funny thing is, it goes from, I'm still trying to train myself, but it still goes to as simple as, you're trying to, let's say, you ask someone's, well, I don't know what the word is, but let's say in a sense, the scenario, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so dumb. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. That kind of stuff as well, which is crazy because, correct me if I'm wrong, you know knowledge about the Bible, but didn't Jesus said to one of this woman, you're so crazy. It's something like that. Oh, you're so crazy. And she turned crazy. Something like that. I don't know. Because I remember it in my head is there. I remember something about that happening. But I'm not that knowledgeable about the Bible.
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure. So you're saying, Jesus said to the lady that she's crazy?
To someone, like, not in like, oh, you're so crazy, but in I think a jokingly way, oh, you're so crazy. And then she turned thing.
I don't know about a person. I do know I don't know about Jesus saying that to a person, but I do know there is a story in the Bible where Jesus curses a fig tree. And he says to the fig tree, and he curses a fig tree.
Maybe that could be.
And then it doesn't bear any fruit. I don't know about a person though.
Yeah, I could
probably have to do some more research.
Yeah, I could be dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead wrong. But the tree, like God tree thing, even Jesus went to a tree month. The tree just died. That's tough. One little thing in this thing. Right? That's tough.
But yeah, back to like what you're saying about like what we speak over ourselves. I remember when me and my brother always say this. My mum, when we were younger, she used to write on our mirror. She used to write these scriptures all the time. So every single time in the morning, brushing your teeth, getting ready for school, just read these scriptures. And at the time, I'd be like, "Oh, here we go." And even in the car home before she drop us home, she'd just be declaring scriptures over us, and we'd be like, "Oh, here we go. Mom's going at it again." You know what I mean? But now, like post that, I'm like, actually, she was actually speaking something into my life, and the other thing, if we even touch back to that subject of feeling lonely, and maybe you, like the people watching, you're in the season of loneliness and you don't have people that can speak into you. Go into the mirror and speak to yourself.
Yeah, I love it.
Like actually, like outspeak it so that your brain can hear yourself saying anything. Sometimes you actually got to go and speak to yourself. Like, no, I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. And you begin to just declare things of your life, and you're believing, and you uplift yourself. And sometimes you walk past the mirror. My pastor says this. So like sometimes I walk past the mirror and say, "You're a good looking lad."
I do that every single day. Every single day. Come on now. I gotta go in the mirror. Come on now.
But sometimes you actually got to do that. Because you actually got to speak over yourself. Yeah. Because I think it's so easy to get in that. Like you were saying that before, that naturally sometimes people would just be like they might drop something. Oh, I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's take a pause back and be like, okay, why did you say that you think you're dumb? And then sometimes then you got to ask yourself those questions. Why do I always say that? And when you ask yourself these questions, sometimes you can go back, you can peel the layers and be like, you can maybe find a moment where someone might have said that over you, and now ever since then you feel like you're dumb.
And we call that emotional intelligence.
Come on,
that's the one thing. Emotional intelligence.
That's it.
Like, why do I feel the way I feel right now? And then you think about it. Okay, maybe this thing, which is good. I know. I feel like every single day, in a sense, as a kid, I got on a toy, I'll be happy. Man. You know what I'm saying? That laptop would be in my bed. I'm sleeping with that, everything. But these days, if I buy myself something, if I get something, my emotions are always just neutral.
Yeah.
I always found it a bit weird. Maybe it's just that I'm growing, I'm maturing as I go, and I don't really find that much interest, even though, let's say I buy myself a new phone. I wasn't that happy. I wasn't that sad. I was in the middle, oh, cool, new phone, that's cool. But it was, I don't know, it feels weird where it's just like.
Why does it feel weird?
Because I feel like it's not normal. I come on, at least be happy, grow up. You know what I'm saying? You got some. But at the end of the day, it's just neutral.
If you take away the feelings, like how it feels weird and feels unnatural, what's like the logic towards it? Does it make sense?
The logic towards it, in a sense, I believe, is that so I've got a problem with myself, which is basically I can go to the gym for 5 years, look amazing, and I'll be like, not good enough. Not good enough. It's just not good enough. If I let's say I get another contract, I'll be like, 2's all right, but I should have 3.
Isaac was talking about this one time, and he said that's been, the phrase that he used was being proud but not satisfied type of thing. Yeah, like you're still hungry to get more.
That I think that maybe that could make sense.
But I truly believe that that's the correct way to handle yourself with your feelings. Like, it feels unnatural sometimes and even weird, especially depending on who you're around in this circumstances you might be in. But if I was hiring someone, and I do watch a bit of Andrew Tate, I hear this from him quite a lot. But if he was hiring someone, he wants someone who just keeps that baseline emotion. Like every day, it doesn't matter if it's raining, sunny, if they have a 12-hour day, a 6-hour day, they're still going to get up and do the same thing. They're still going to work out. They're still going to do what they have to do. Whereas if you wake up and like, I'm happy today, like, let's go, let's work out, let's bring it on. And if the next day you wake up and you're sad and you're like, slack, like I feel like this, I don't want to do it. But that's a power, bro. That's what I think. I think that's a power. Having that emotional control, like you're not just going to beep the horn and jump out and start wailing on someone because they didn't use a blinker. Like you're just like, okay, it happens, like cool, it's not going to affect me, like just like the hundreds of other things that haven't affected me, like so I think it's a power to have that.
No,
I don't know. I'm not how even I got to that point. I just felt like I just got older. I
think it's work as well.
So if you don't mind me asking, you were talking about how you feel like you always like it's not enough. Do you, would you know maybe has that always been something like since day one, or could you say like from like at this stage, from when this happened, that's when I felt like I always got to do more?
I always say that this always goes back to my parents. This always goes back to my parents because I don't know, man. Maybe you could relate because I guess this might be an Indian thing or just color thing, but it's like my mom. I don't know why, but she would always compare me to another kid. Always. Every single time, oh God, see your cousin, he did blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I hated it every single time. I hated it so much. And then my dad would always be like, if you don't do this, you'll end up like them. I'm just like, okay, what? Okay. And I just kept getting compared every single time. Kept getting thing. And I don't know. And especially after, what's the word? As I got older, I guess it kind of implemented into my life as well. Where even if I achieved something good, I always felt like, nah, I can go for. I think I deserve it more. I don't think it's good enough in a sense. But I feel like it does come from heavily from the way your parents have handled you when you're younger. Their teachings, the thing. Because I don't know if Bible talks about this, but isn't it like, their habits sometimes go into you as well. Like I think this is a bit touched subject, but pornography as well. When a parent has
dabbled into it and is addicted. Maybe he hasn't stopped. He just couldn't stop, and he had a kid, and that also transfers into him as well, into that kid. It goes through the bloodlines, and then I don't know if you heard the normal phrases. I'm the black sheep or whatever. I gotta break the generational curse. Those kind of words, and I feel that's where they kind of came from as well.
Have you ever had the conversation with your parents saying like why did you always like, well, maybe not, that's the wrong question. Like, well, have you ever had the conversations saying like, hey, mom and dad, actually I was affected. Actually, that affected me when I was younger. Has that conversation ever happened, or it's just been?
I think it changed. I think I changed their minds, because back then, mom would always worry what I was going to become, what I was going to do. And a few months back, mom has changed her mindset of me. She's like, I'll grab your fine now, because she has seen what I have accomplished just at age 19. She's like, okay, no, he's in the right hands. She now knows I have a mentor. She knows what I've achieved with that mentor and what I'm going to achieve in the future. And she's seen that. And then one day she was like, Grub, I can move back to Italy or Germany now. Now, why is that? Oh, because you're fine. Because you're fine. I think their mindset of comparing me changed to, they look at me like, oh, he's achieved something. I think that's the thing.
Would you mind me asking then? So in life, then, do you find that you have to guess, like, I mean, you're talking about how your parents have now this mindset shifted because you felt like, because they seen that you achieved something. Have you found that now, like, in life, you're constantly wanting to achieve more things?
Oh yeah, I can say in a sense. Yeah, but I'll say this weird thing, but I was looking at a car once. I forgot the car's name. It was an expensive car, and I looked at it, and instantly I went into a whole vision, a whole vision, and it was, I saw my kid, my wife. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, what I'm saying, my wife, and then I saw, and I saw what I was gonna get, everything. It was just, God just showed me every single thing I was gonna get, and after that, I was like, okay, God has this plan for me. And God's a funny man, because here's what he do. God will show you the throne, but he won't show you how to get there. Or it's weird, because if he showed you how you would get there, you'd be like, yeah, it's a bit hard. Yeah, I'll stick to this thing. I'll stick to the thing. 'Cause it's always the thing. Let's say, compared to boxing, the coach would like, you can be the boxing champion. You can be the world heavyweight champion. And then if kid asks, oh, how? So you have to do running every single day, sparring, body conditioning, where you're getting punched in the stomach, all that stuff, for conditioning, so you know how it feels, and blah, 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 a lot of lists. The kid will be like, yeah, it's too hard. That's too hard. That's too hard.
But the coach just says, show up to training.
Yeah.
That's something like that, yeah.
Show up to training. And that's the only thing he says. Because he knows that if you explain to him every single detail how hard work he has to put in, the kid just started out. He'd be like, that's too hard for me. But all coaches said, show up to training, and you get there.
Yeah.
And he does, and the kid does, and then no matter what, he still shows up. And I think that's what I have to do. I have to show up every single day, and I feel it. This is the weird thing. I feel it. I feel like I'm not gonna be just a normal regular person. I feel every single day, me and him and Caleb and all our brothers, we sit around a campfire and we say what we're gonna achieve every single day. That is 90% of the time. That's how a conversation starts.
That's how you got here.
That's how you got here.
We're sitting down. We're like, we need it. Like, let's make something happen. Let's work. What are we gonna do? We're putting our minds together.
We spoke that to me.
Come on.
It's amazing. And then at the end of it, every single time I go home, I can just feel. It's a weird feeling, man. Yeah. I can just feel it. Like, I'm just like, okay, and I'm gonna get. I know what God has planned for me, but I just have to outwork myself and outwork other people. But it's part of it. I understand.
Yeah, I love what you said. You said the coach just says come to training. I think obedience is a big step.
Yeah,
and God gives us things, and it's up to us whether we step in obedience. But I would like to pose a deep question.
Yeah.
what would you do if what you felt, you thought that you were supposed to get and you don't get it?
That's fine.
That's fine, yeah. That's fine. I'm just like, yeah, well, didn't work hard enough, did I?
Would you?
Well, if I wasn't supposed to get it, then I'm not supposed to get, like, you know what I mean? Like,
because I think that can be, in a sense, you can always pray about it. You can always pray about it. I went straight to Auntie. I was like, this is what I saw, Auntie. Can you? Is it God? Is it the devil? What's happening here?
I guess my overarching question with everything is that your relationship with God, is it I have a relationship with God because I want to get here, or is it I have a relationship with God because I love God?
I think I just
want to say, because we were talking about this with Mr. Frost, I'm very green with my relationship with God.
Sorry, what do you mean by green? Sorry,
green's like fresh, new, just started. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
When did you start?
This man right here. So going to his house whenever your mum was away in
Italy,
and I started going to his house a lot more, and he was
big dog.
Yeah, she's a big teddy bear.
Yeah, so go ahead.
But yeah, just going to his house, and he would just preach. Like, he would just preach to me, and it would be so casual. He's just talking about his day or what he's thinking, and I'm just there like, I want to be more like this. I want to have these experiences, these thoughts, the connection, all of it. Like, but I can't even really answer the question. That's how, like, I'm really fresh and green.
Yeah. You know, and I love that. And kudos to you, bro. You know, I was in Glaston. I was saying before, I was in Glaston for, like, we do like regional meetings of like denominations all up. Yeah, I was in Glaston, right? And we had someone, one of our people preaching. His name was called Pastor Peter. He was talking about discipleship, and he said that, well, if when I say discipleship, I basically mean like mentoring people. Yeah. So he was talking about discipleship, and he said that discipleship isn't from the pulpit. It isn't from the stage.
The pulpit, is that what you said?
Yeah. So when I say pulpit means, like, you know, where the preacher puts his thing on
okay.
Yeah. Discipleship isn't from the stage. It isn't from the microphone. It isn't from, it's not even from Bible college. Discipleship is from relationship. That's what actual discipleship is. When Gurav invites Campbell over for dinner, and your friends, you're hanging out with each other, and then a circumstance happens, something wrong happens, and Campbell's expecting Gurav to lash out, but Gurav says, it's all right, it's okay. Campbell goes, I wasn't expecting that. Why did he not lash out? And then Campbell goes, Gurav, why did you not lash out there? And Gurav says, I felt like I really did want to lash out, like, you know, but I've just been working, you know, with my relationship with God. I've been working with anger, and God's really helping me. Oh, God's helping you with anger. Tell me about that's discipleship. And that what's happening here is awesome. The fact that you're coming in faith, like, that's just awesome. That is like what you're doing right there. You're doing better than what someone might do if they're going to Bible college, because that's what we're called to do. We're called to make disciples. We're called to have more people, and that's awesome. And I really encourage you to keep on going in the journey. To be honest, I'd love to see you boys, if you're free tomorrow morning, like, you should come to the cinema for real, 9:30 a.m. It'll be sick. Like, we got some mates there and stuff like that. But, like, if you're free, man, come through. That'll be so good. To have you at church. 9:30 a.m. at the BCC cinemas. 9:30
We'll
a.m.
think about it.
But so I was saying about relationship. Well, I think sometimes in our walk with God, we can be like, it can be a very transactional thing where we're like, all right, God, I'm gonna do this so I can get that. And that's what our relationship can be like.
Yeah, I understand that. I definitely do. I do understand that. And I think I'll say this. My view of what I want to get, it has changed to not for a personal reason. But the problem is, I have to be selfish first to be help, be the help. That's the problem. I have to be selfish first so that I can help others out. It's what I have to do. Because my goal is, what's the word? We are going to help people. Well, we're not opening up a charity. I'm speaking in existence as I speak. We're going to open up a charity, and the charity's name is going to be Saved.
Awesome.
It's not going to have our Ambition Crew name, nothing like that. It's going to have Saved.
Yep.
And we are going to go and put a lot of our money in there so we can help animals, children, special children, because they're God's favorites, and men, women,
that's
humans,
awesome. That's awesome.
And it's especially also men might have a men's mental health because but in a sense, our dads, I guess, a lot of dads have told I suck it up. Why are you crying? Like I was weak.
Yeah.
So, and then it kind of gets bundled up.
Yeah.
And men have our own problems, and though we are simple creatures, we also have our problems. True. We also have our problems, Like we can talk about, just bushes for 10 hours. We're so simple.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's great that you're going to start a charity.
Yeah. I have to do that because what God has done for me, I have to repay him that favor. I have to show him that what he has blessed me with is not for self-worth, but it is that so we can go out and do his bidding.
I remember you talking to Auntie about it, becoming rich, and that you felt like you were chasing the money and all that. And she said that God will call you to be a pastor. Yeah. God will call you to be rich so you can open up a charity and help out kids or anything else. So yeah,
I feel like Auntie said that there's a reason he told you. He put that in your mind, and going. And I'll say the reason I know I'm gonna get everything is because the opportunities I just got. A random day. That's the weird thing, Joe. A random day and an opportunity just comes my path. I'm just thinking of that. That's the problem. I'm just thinking of it. I just thought, how can I get to that point? Oh, my uncle have a normal conversation with my uncle. Opportunity.
It felt like a normal opportunity.
It felt like a normal day. Yeah. I was in gym and I just got a phone call. Oh, we got the contract.
Wow.
Just random days. It was just like it just kind of kept coming to me. Yeah. And I was just, okay, cool. I mean, all right, there you go. You know what I'm saying? I was just, and it goes back to what Mum said, Isaac's mum, that when God wants you to get to where he wants you to get to, he's not going to make it that hard. Of course, he's going to make it hard. The journey is hard in a sense, but because he's with you, he's not going to make it hard. He's going to show you all the opportunities. Which makes sense. I mean, obviously, doing the physical work is a bit of a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt. There has been a lot of instances where I got attacked by a dog, fell on a bike, injured, but I still showed up to work the next day because I knew that was my calling and I had to do it. I couldn't disappoint my uncle. He was in a foreign country. I was the one looking after the whole thing. I can't just be lose him money. So I had to prove to God and my uncle that I'm worth the time. I'm worth their time so that I can show them I'm not just a normal person. I'm doing this for a reason.
What's the business again? Sorry, what do you guys do?
So we are contractors for post office. We show we get, let's say I get a contract in Gracemere. Yeah. And let's say it's mail service, so it's mail stuff. Or roadside. Roadside is where it's more in the off-road farm areas where it's both letters and parcels. So that will require utes and you got a whole thing, and then it's a bit of it's a process. You have to have. You can't just get into it. You have to have connections. Yep. Because you can't just go, can I have contract? No, you can't. You got to have connections in the post office where they can go. Luckily, my uncle had connections, and he blessed me with a contract. Obviously, he says I was worthy enough, so I'll take his word. All right, cool. But it's definitely but there's so much more than just that. We also have this in our ambitious crew. That's also a part because there's also so many people. Like, sure, right now maybe 10 followers, but I know in a year it's going to be like 10,000.
Yeah, come on.
We know that it's going to go higher and higher.
Or you just keep helping people.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because even this right now, like you speaking about your whole life and how you've got, even how the simple of I moved from here to here. That could change someone's life. Yeah. It's one thing I
even if it's just one person as well, right?
It's one thing.
That's what it's all about, eh?
I'd rather go to God and be like, yeah, I changed one person.
Come on.
Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. Oh, I didn't even try at all. Didn't even try. Which I have a thing I want to ask you about. Yeah. Is I don't know if I have not gone to every single church, so I will not speak for every single church. But I have I've heard that a lot of churches talk about how much they love God. And God bless me with this. God bless me with this. But my question is, what have you done for God? And a simple answer, some of them my answer is, I gave him my heart. I gave him, my soul. And my thing is, but who said it was yours in the first place? It was his. So, but what have you done? You just given him what he owed back. That's right. But what have you went out and talked to even one person and said, hey, can I talk about Jesus? Has anybody? That's what I've been thinking. I was like, I would want churches to say, instead of showing the God's love side, I want them to really show how powerful God is.
You were talking to me. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you were talking to me one afternoon, and he said he wants to find churches that build warriors of God. I'm just thinking right now as you're explaining all this, like, I would love that. I would love just to be put on a battlefield, fight for God, off we go, chariots, off speed. Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah, because I want really more of, not lovey-dovey God. I want more of this is what God wants you to do. This is the real world. This is how this is what the enemy is. And this is how you conquer this. This is how you do this. This is how you fight for God. This is how you go out in the world. Like Cliff is. Yeah. He's going out in students, by the way, and just saying,
standing up and fighting.
I'm here to talk about my God. Yeah. And he's there, there. I want those kind of people.
Hey,
church to talk about that.
We're gonna have to wrap this up, everyone. But before we do, we're gonna ask Joel a question, and that question is, what is one piece of advice that you would give to everyone listening and watching right now?
One piece of advice that I would give anyone. One piece. Open the Bible. If you want to hear, people say, how do I hear God's word? How do I hear God's voice? All right. Well, the Bible, sometimes people call it the word of God. Yeah. It's his words. Open up the Bible if you want to hear more. If you want to hear more of God, open up your Bible, step out in obedience. There's nothing wrong with picking up a piece of rubbish. Yeah. If you walking past a piece of rubbish and you feel, I should pick that up, maybe just accept that as that's God telling me to pick up rubbish. Yeah. Pick it up. If you walk past a person that's sitting there lonely and you just feel I should go talk to that person, maybe just say, that's God, baby. That's God.
That is very similar to what Mr. McCann said.
Walk past, sit next to that person, have that conversation, Do stuff that's going to uplift people. Yeah. If it doesn't uplift anyone, it's probably not God.
Yeah.
But if it uplifts people, if it's good,
that was so similar to Mr. McAnthony. He told me in year 10. Yeah. So similar. That remember Mr. McAnthony. We're gonna have him on, by the way.
Awesome. Yeah. Mr. McAnthony. Yeah, you see him soon on Ambitions podcast. Yeah. Like, am I popping? Sorry. Right. Like, subscribe, comment.
There we go.
Ambitions crew.
There we go. You heard the man.
The #1 podcast in Australia. Woo! It was good to be on here.
That was it. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
amazing. All right. Bye-bye, guys. See you next episode.